The massive silver ship hung in orbit above the gleaming rings of the alien planet. Its hull bore the simple emblem of Earth, a blue circle with white lines. Inside, Commander Jack Adams straightened his uniform for the 5th time and looked at his team. "This is it," he said. "First contact with the Galactic Council. Let's not mess it up." Jack had been chosen to lead Earth's diplomatic mission because of his calm nature and sharp mind. He was not tall, but he stood straight and spoke clearly. His team included 6 other humans, each an expert in their field. "Remember," he told them, "we represent all of humanity today." Their shuttle descended through swirling clouds toward the council's meeting place. Jack watched through the window as strange towers of crystal and metal grew larger. The city below looked like nothing on Earth, buildings that curved impossibly and seemed to float above the ground. When they landed, 3 aliens waited for them. They had blue skin that shimmered like water and 4 arms each. Their leader stepped forward. "Welcome, humans," it said in perfect English. "I am Elder Krell. The council awaits you." Jack nodded and followed. His heart beat fast, but his face showed nothing. They walked down a long hall made of something that looked like glass, but felt warm under their feet. The council chamber was huge. A round table sat in the middle with 27 different aliens seated around it. Each looked stranger than the last. Some with many eyes, others with no eyes at all. Some were small as children, others as large as cars. "The human delegation from Earth," Elder Krell announced. Jack stepped forward. "We are honored to be invited to join the Galactic Council. Earth is ready to take its place among the stars." The tallest alien stood. It had gray skin and looked almost like a tree with arms. "We have watched your species for many cycles," it said. "Your progress has been rapid. Some worried you were too violent for membership." Jack kept his face neutral. "Our history has dark chapters, yes, but we have learned from them. The Council exists for one purpose," Elder Krell said. "Peace between all intelligent life. Our first and only law is simple. No member may attack another. Ever. For any reason. Absolute non-aggression," added a small round alien with yellow fur. "This is the foundation of galactic harmony." Jack nodded. "Earth can agree to these terms." "Can it?" asked Elder Krell. "Your people still fight among themselves." "Less each year," Jack replied. "And we understand that membership would require complete commitment to peace." The council members looked at each other. Some made strange movements that Jack guessed were their versions of nodding. "We will proceed with the membership process," Elder Krell decided. "Your delegation will stay for 1 month to learn our ways. If all goes well, Earth will join the council." Jack bowed slightly. "We look forward to it." Later, in their private quarters, Jack met with his team. The rooms they had been given were comfortable but strange. The beds seemed to float, and the food tasted like nothing they had ever tried before. "They seem peaceful enough," said Bill, the security expert, "but something feels off." "Like what?" asked Jack. "I don't know," Bill shrugged. "They talk about peace, but they seem afraid." Anna, the xenobiologist, nodded. "Did you notice how they reacted when you mentioned our military history?" They flinched. Jack looked out the window at the alien city. "We need this alliance. Earth needs the technology and resources the Council can offer." "But at what cost?" Bill asked. "Complete pacifism sounds nice, but what if we need to defend ourselves?" "From what?" Jack asked. "They've maintained peace for thousands of years." "So they say," Anna mumbled. In another part of the council building, Elder Krell met with 3 other council members in a small dark room. "The humans worry me," said the small yellow alien. "Their history is violent beyond anything we've seen." "But they are innovative," said another. "Their adaptability could be useful." Elder Krell stared at a screen showing Jack and his team. "They must accept our ways completely, if they ever turn to violence again." "They won't," said the yellow alien. No species has broken the peace in over 5,000 years. No species like humans has ever joined us. Elder Krell replied quietly. Let us hope they truly leave their warlike past behind. The screen switched off, and the room fell silent. Above them, countless stars shone in the night sky. Peaceful, for now. 5 years passed quickly. Earth had joined the Galactic Council, and human ships now traveled freely between the stars. Cities on Earth gleamed with new technology. Diseases that once killed millions were gone. Hunger was a memory. The Alliance had brought great gifts. Commander Jack Adams, now Ambassador Jack Adams, stood at the window of his office on the Council's central planet. He watched alien ships glide silently through the pink sky. His reflection showed a face with new lines. His hair had touches of gray now. Ambassador, Science Officer Miller is here to see you, said his assistant through the speaker. Send her in, Jack replied. Emma Miller entered the room quickly. She carried a data pad and looked worried. Emma was the brightest scientist Earth had sent to the Council. Her job was to study alien technology and share it with Earth. You look troubled, Jack said. Emma sat down and placed her data pad on the desk. I found something strange in the Council records. What kind of strange? Missing pieces. Emma touched the screen, and images appeared in the air between them. I've been studying the history of Council species. There are gaps. Jack leaned forward. Explain. The Council claims to have 27 member species, counting us. But I found references to a species called the Brill. They aren't here now, and no one will tell me what happened to them. Jack frowned. Could they have died out naturally? No. Records show they had colonies on 12 planets. Then, about 300 years ago, all mentions of them stop. It's like they were erased. Jack stood and walked back to the window. Have you asked Elder Krell about this? I tried. He said data corruption happens in old files. But you don't believe that. Emma shook her head. And there's more. I found partial references to other missing species. At least 3 others that I can tell. Jack was silent for a moment. I've noticed something too. The way other species act around us. What do you mean? Emma asked. They're polite. Friendly even. But there's something else. When we enter a room, conversations stop. I see them watching us. Emma nodded slowly. Fear. They're afraid of us. But why? We've kept the peace treaty perfectly. Earth hasn't had a war in 5 years. Maybe it's not what we've done, Emma suggested. Maybe it's what they think we might do. The next day, Jack attended the regular council meeting. Representatives from all member species sat around the great circular table. Jack noticed again how the seats on either side of the human delegation remained empty. Elder Krell led the meeting as always. The trading routes in the outer sector have been adjusted to avoid the approaching dust cloud. All ships must update their navigation systems. Jack listened but watched the other members. A small green alien called Mick whispered to its neighbor, and both glanced at Jack. After the meeting, Jack approached Mick in the hallway. Council member Mick, may I speak with you? Mick's large eyes blinked rapidly. Of course, Ambassador Adams. I was hoping you could explain something about Council history, a species called the Brill. Mick's skin changed from green to pale yellow. I know nothing of this species. They existed 300 years ago. They had 12 colony worlds. Mick backed away slightly. I must go. Important matters require my attention. Jack watched Mick hurry down the hallway. Later that night, he met Emma in a quiet garden area. Few aliens visited this place since the plants were from Earth and gave off scents they found unpleasant. Mick was frightened by my question, Jack told her. Emma nodded. I've been digging deeper. Look at this. She showed him her data pad. Star charts from 400 years ago. This entire section had colonies belonging to a species called the Arvani. And now it's listed as uninhabitable space. But the stars haven't changed. Nothing about that region is uninhabitable. Jack took the pad and studied it. If species are disappearing, why has no one told us? Maybe that's why they fear us, Emma said. Maybe they're waiting for us to disappear too. A soft chime sounded from Jack's pocket. He pulled out his communicator. Ambassador Adams said in urgent voice, "We've received a distress signal from the human colony on Proxima B. They're under attack." Jack's eyes met Emma's. Attack? By whom? Unknown, sir. The message was cut short. "Prepare my ship," Jack ordered. He turned to Emma. "I think we're about to find out what the Council is hiding." As they hurried away, neither noticed the small drone hovering behind a tree, its lens focused on them. In his private chamber, Elder Krell watched the humans on his screen and made a decision. Jack's ship dropped out of faster-than-light travel near Proxima B. The colony planet had been settled by humans only 3 years ago. It was a beautiful world with blue oceans and green lands, much like Earth, but smaller. "Scan for life signs," Jack ordered as he stood on the bridge. Emma stood beside him, her face tight with worry. The ship's pilot, Tom, worked the controls. "I'm getting readings from the main colony, but they're weak, much fewer than there should be." "Try to contact them again," Jack said. Tom sent the message. "Colony Proxima. This is Earth Ship Defender. Please respond." Only static answered. "Take us down," Jack decided. "Prepare a landing team." As their ship entered the atmosphere, they could see smoke rising from the colony buildings. Some structures were completely destroyed. Others burned slowly, sending black columns into the sky. "What happened here?" Emma whispered. Their small shuttle landed in what had been the colony's main square. Jack led a team of 6, including Emma. They wore simple protective suits but carried no weapons. The Council treaty forbade them. The colony was silent. Bodies lay in the streets. Buildings had huge holes torn through walls. Vehicles were crushed as if stepped on by giants. "Look for survivors," Jack ordered. They searched for hours. They found only 12 people alive, hiding in a deep basement. A woman named Mary seemed to be their leader. "What happened here?" Jack asked as his team treated the survivors. Mary's hand shook as she held a cup of water. "They came 3 days ago. Ships like nothing we'd ever seen. Black with spikes. They fired on us without warning." "Who were they?" Emma asked. "Not council members," Mary said. "They looked, I can't describe them well. Tall, with gray skin that seemed to shift like smoke. They took people. Hundreds of colonists, just taken." "Did they say anything?" Jack pressed. "Only one word," repeated. "Harvest." Jack and Emma exchanged looks. "We need to search the colony data center," Emma said. If the security systems were working, they might have recorded the attack. The data center was damaged, but not destroyed. Emma worked for hours, trying to recover files from the broken computers. "I have something," she finally said. "Security camera footage." They watched the grainy video. Dark ships descended from the sky. Creatures emerged. Tall, gray beings that seemed to blur at the edges, as if they weren't fully solid. They moved with terrible speed, breaking into homes and dragging people out. "Stop the video," Jack said suddenly. "Go back." Emma reversed the footage. "There," Jack pointed. "Zoom in on that weapon." The image showed one of the creatures holding a device that fired beams of red light. "That technology," Jack said. "I've seen something like it before, in the Council's Museum of Prohibited Weapons. But the Council claims no advanced weapons exist anymore," Emma said. "They said all species gave them up when they joined." "Another lie," Jack said grimly. 3 days later, they returned to the Council homeworld with the survivors and their evidence. Jack requested an emergency meeting with the full Council. Elder Krell looked disturbed when Jack described what they had found. "This is most unfortunate. A natural disaster, perhaps." Jack's temper flared. "Natural disaster. We have video of the attack." These were intelligent beings with advanced weapons. The council chamber grew very quiet. "What you describe is impossible," Elder Krell said. "No species in known space would attack another. The peace has held for thousands of years." Jack played the video for the entire council. Many members looked away. Others whispered among themselves. "These attackers," Jack said loudly. "Who are they?" Elder Krell seemed to age before their eyes. "They are not important." "Not important." Jack slammed his hand on the table. "They killed hundreds of humans and took hundreds more. How is that not important?" A small bird-like council member spoke up. "What Elder Krell means is that this is a rare event. Sometimes space contains anomalies." "They weren't anomalies," Emma said. "They were a species with advanced technology, and you know who they are." The chamber erupted in loud arguments. Finally, Elder Krell raised all four of his arms. "This meeting is concluded. The council will investigate this unfortunate incident." As the council members filed out, Jack noticed something he had never seen before. Some of the younger species representatives gave him quick, approving looks. Back in Jack's office, Emma paced angrily. "They're going to do nothing, just like they've done nothing before." "We need to know the truth," Jack said. "Those missing species we found in the records, what if they weren't the only ones? What if the council's peace is built on sacrifice?" "What do we do?" Emma asked. Jack's face hardened. "We go back to Earth. If the council won't protect humans, we need to be ready to protect ourselves." Unknown to them, on a distant planet of perpetual night, a fleet of black, spiked ships prepared to launch again. Their target was already chosen. Another human colony. Jack stood outside Elder Krell's private chambers, waiting. It had been 2 days since he presented evidence of the attack. 2 days of silence from the council. His patience had run out. The door slid open. Elder Krell seemed surprised to see him. "Ambassador Adams, this is unexpected." "We need to talk," Jack said, stepping inside without invitation. "About the attack on our colony." Elder Krell's chambers were simple but elegant. Strange plants grew from the walls, giving off soft light. A large window showed the 3 moons of the council world. "The council is still discussing the matter," Elder Krell said. Jack placed a data pad on the table between them. "No more delays. No more lies. I want the truth about who attacked us." Elder Krell's 4 arms moved in a pattern Jack had learned meant discomfort. "Ambassador, some matters are complex." "People died," Jack interrupted. "More were taken. Nothing is complex about that." Elder Krell was silent for a long moment. Finally, he sighed, a strange whistling sound. "They are called the Void Hunters," he said quietly. "They exist outside council space. Why didn't you tell us about them before we joined?" "They were not relevant. They rarely come this far into our territory." Jack's eyes narrowed. "Not relevant. They just attacked a human colony." "Yes, and that is unfortunate, but it happens rarely, perhaps once every 50 years. "To whom?" Jack demanded. "Who else have they attacked?" Elder Krell moved to the window. "Various outer colonies. It is the way of things." "The way of things." Jack couldn't believe what he was hearing. "You mean you know about these Void Hunters? You know they attack and kill and take people, and you do nothing. What would you have us do?" Elder Krell turned, his blue skin darkening with emotion. "Start a war. Break the peace that has lasted 5,000 years. If necessary, yes." Jack stepped closer. "Peace isn't peace if it allows innocent people to be slaughtered." "You speak as humans always have," Elder Krell said, "with violence in your hearts." "We speak with justice in our hearts," Jack corrected. "Tell me, what happens to the colonies that get attacked?" Elder Krell looked away. "We evacuate any survivors. The worlds are abandoned." "Abandoned." Jack was stunned. "You just give up territory to these hunters. It is a small price for continued peace." And the people taken by the hunters, what happens to them? Elder Krell's silence was answer enough. Jack felt cold anger building inside him. How many species have you sacrificed this way, Elder? How many civilizations have disappeared while the Council watched and did nothing? You do not understand. Before the Council, before our peace, all species fought. Billions died in wars that lasted centuries. Our way is better. Your way built peace on the bones of the defenseless, Jack said. Those missing species I found in your records, the Brill, the Arvani, they weren't just lost. They were sacrificed. Elder Krell didn't deny it. Some species were unfortunate. Their colonies were in regions the hunters claimed. When they could no longer sustain their populations after the attacks, they died out, Jack finished. And you erased them from history. We preserve the peace for the many, Elder Krell insisted. It is regrettable, but necessary. Jack stepped back, disgusted. Humanity will not be your next sacrifice. Elder, what will you do? Elder Krell asked. You signed our treaty. No weapons, no violence. We'll see about that, Jack said, turning to leave. If you break the treaty, you will be alone. Elder Krell called after him. No council species will help you. Jack paused at the door. Maybe that's better than having allies who would watch us die for their comfort. Back on his ship, Jack met with Emma and the ship's captain, Robert. The council's peace is a lie, Jack told them. They've sacrificed entire species to avoid confronting these void hunters. Emma looked sick. All those missing civilizations. We need to warn Earth, Robert said. If these hunters target human colonies regularly, then we'll be fighting alone, Jack finished. The council won't help us. What about our treaty? Emma asked. We promised no weapons, no violence. Jack looked out at the stars through the ship's window. Some promises can't be kept. Not when the cost is too high. Earth won't stand for this, Robert said. We never would have joined if we'd known. Jack nodded. Set course for Earth. Maximum speed. We need to call an emergency meeting of all human leaders. As their ship broke orbit, several younger council species ambassadors watched from a hidden observation deck. The humans know the truth now, one said. Will they do what we have been afraid to do for centuries? Asked another. We will soon find out, said the third. The great meeting hall in Geneva was filled to capacity. 200 leaders from Earth and its colonies sat in rows facing a central stage. On screens around the room, millions more watched from every human settlement across 3 star systems. Jack stood on the stage beside Emma and Robert. Behind them, images of the destroyed Proxima B colony flashed slowly. Thank you all for coming on such short notice, Jack began. 5 years ago, humanity joined the Galactic Council with high hopes. Today, I must tell you that we were deceived. A murmur ran through the crowd. The Council's peace is built on sacrifice, Jack continued. They allow a species called the Void Hunters to attack outer colonies. Instead of fighting back, they abandon these worlds and the people taken from them. Emma stepped forward. We have discovered that at least 7 species have been erased from galactic history this way. When they lost too many colonies and people, they simply disappeared. The room erupted in angry shouts. The Earth President, a tall woman named Maria, raised her hand for silence. Ambassador Adams, what proof do you have of these claims? Jack nodded to Emma, who projected videos from the Proxima attack. Then she showed the records of missing species she had found in Council archives. And finally, Jack said, Elder Krell admitted it to me directly. The Council knows about the hunters. They have always known. They choose to do nothing. The room was silent now. The horror of what they were seeing sank in. What happens to the people taken by these hunters? Asked the Mars colony governor. Jack looked grim. The Council doesn't know or claims not to know. They never tried to find out. The president stood. What are our options, Ambassador? We have 3 choices, Jack answered. First, we can stay in the council and accept their way. We abandon any colony that gets attacked and slowly watch our people disappear. Angry shouts filled the room again. Second, Jack continued when the noise died down, we can try to change the council from within. Convince them to fight back against the hunters. Will that work? Someone called out. I don't believe so, Jack admitted. Their fear of war is too deep. They've maintained this system for thousands of years. And the third option? The president asked quietly. Jack took a deep breath. We leave the council. We break the non-aggression treaty. The room exploded into chaos. Some shouted agreement, others warned of the dangers. If we leave, the president said when order was restored, we lose all council protection and technology. We would be alone. We're already alone, Emma said. The council won't protect us from the hunters. Their protection is an illusion. An old general stood up from the front row. If we break the treaty, we can rebuild our military, defend our colonies ourselves. But we would face both the hunters and possibly the council's anger, the president cautioned. Better to fight standing than die kneeling, the general replied. For 3 days, the debate raged. Reports came in from all human colonies. The people demanded action. On the 4th day, they took a vote. The result was clear, 189 to 11 in favor of leaving the council. The president addressed the assembly one final time. This is not a decision we take lightly. Humanity wanted peace. We still want peace, but not at the cost of our people, our future, and our dignity. She turned to Jack. Ambassador Adams, you will deliver our decision to the council. 1 week later, Jack stood before the assembled Galactic Council. Elder Krell and the other ancient species looked shocked as he spoke. Therefore, Jack concluded, humanity formally withdraws from the Galactic Council and its non-aggression treaty, effective immediately. This is unprecedented. Elder Krell's voice shook. No species has ever withdrawn. No species like humans has ever joined, Jack replied, echoing Krell's words from years ago. You cannot defend yourselves alone, warned another elder. The hunters will target you even more. We would rather fight than surrender, Jack said simply. As he turned to leave, a younger council member, Troll of the Novari, spoke up. What will you do now, humans? Jack paused at the door. What we should have done from the start. Prepare to defend what's ours. As Jack's ship departed for Earth, emergency signals flashed across the council communication network. The news spread quickly. Humans had walked away from the peace, and in the shadows of distant space, several younger species began secret preparations of their own. For the first time, in thousands of years, someone had stood up and said no to the sacrifice of innocence. Someone had chosen to fight back. 6 months passed quickly. On Earth and all human colonies, factories worked day and night. Old military bases reopened. Ships that once carried traders and explorers were rebuilt with new sections that could hold weapons. Admiral Tom Wilson stood on the bridge of the Earth's first new warship, the Defender. It was 3 times larger than any ship humans had built before. Its hull was thick and strong. Hidden compartments held missiles and energy cannons designed from memory and old plans. System check complete. Admiral reported his second-in-command, Lisa. All weapons are ready. Tom nodded. He was an older man who had served in Earth's military before the Council Treaty. His hair was gray, but his eyes were sharp and clear. I never thought we'd need these again, he said, looking at the weapons display. But here we are. The colony on Ta City is transmitting their daily report, Lisa said. All quiet there. Ta City was the newest human colony, even further from Earth than Proxima b had been. After leaving the Council, humans had decided to expand outward, not inward. They would create a buffer zone between Earth and any threats. Tom was about to respond when alarms sounded across the bridge. Emergency signal from Ta City. Lisa shouted. They're under attack. Tom's face hardened. Put it on screen. The colony's governor appeared, her face tight with fear. Defender, we have multiple unknown ships entering our atmosphere. They matched the description of void hunters. Hold on, Governor, Tom said. The defense fleet is on its way. Activate your ground shields. The signal cut off suddenly. All ships, battle stations. Tom ordered. Set course for Ta City. Maximum speed. 3 human warships jumped to faster than light travel. In the old days, it would have taken weeks to reach Ta City. With the new engines humans had developed in secret, while still part of the Council, they arrived in hours. They dropped out of FTL near the colony planet. 7 black, spiked ships hung in orbit. 2 more had landed on the surface. They're not expecting us, Lisa said. Their weapons aren't powered up. The hunters are used to helpless prey, Tom replied. Not anymore. Target their engines first. We want them disabled, not destroyed. Why not destroy them? Asked a young officer. Because we need information, Tom said. And prisoners. The Defender fired first. Blue energy beams shot across space and hit one of the hunter ships. Its engines exploded in silent fire. The other hunter ships began to turn, finally aware of the threat. They're powering weapons, Lisa called out. Too late, Tom said. Fire all batteries. The 3 human ships fired together. 4 more hunter vessels lost engines, weapons, or both. The remaining ships tried to escape, accelerating away from the planet. Disable 2 more, Tom ordered. Let 1 escape. His officers looked at him in surprise. We want them to report back, Tom explained. We want them to know that humans fight back. The battle was over in minutes. 6 hunter ships floated dead in space. 1 escaped into the darkness. 2 remained on the planet's surface. Take us down, Tom said. It's time to meet these hunters face to face. The Defender landed near the colony's main settlement. Tom led a team of 50 soldiers, all carrying weapons that had been illegal under Council law. They found 1 hunter ship empty. Near the other, a battle was already underway. To Tom's surprise, the colonists were fighting back with simple tools and farm equipment. They had formed a circle around the colony's children. The hunters were tall, gray beings that seemed to shift and change as they moved. Their bodies were partly solid, partly like smoke. They carried advanced weapons, but seemed confused by the humans' resistance. All units, fire, Tom ordered. The hunter nearest to him turned in surprise just as Tom's weapon hit it in the chest. It fell back, its gray form solidifying as it died. The other hunters tried to retreat to their ship, but they were caught between Tom's soldiers and the angry colonists. Within minutes, it was over. 3 hunters survived, now bound with special energy chains. Tom approached the colony's leader, a woman named Helen. You fought them off before we arrived, he said with respect. Helen's clothes were torn and dirty. She held a simple metal rod as a weapon. We knew help was coming. Ambassador Adams told all colonies, no more running, no more hiding. Word of the battle spread quickly. Within days, every human settlement knew. The Void Hunters had attacked again. But this time, humans had fought back. And won. On the Council homeworld, the news caused chaos. Many elder species called for humans to be punished for breaking the peace, but others, mostly younger species, watched the reports in secret wonder. In his chambers, Elder Krell received a private message from the Void Hunters for the first time in centuries. The smooth food fights back, it said simply. This is unexpected. Elder Krell's hands trembled as he erased the message. For the first time in his long life, he felt something he couldn't quite identify. It might have been fear, or it might have been hope. 1 year had passed since humans left the Galactic Council. Earth's main meeting hall was crowded again, but this time with an unusual mix of beings. 6 alien species sat alongside human leaders. None were from the elder races of the Council. All were younger species who had suffered hunter attacks in the past. Jack Adams, now Director of Galactic Security, stood at the center of the room. Beside him, Emma Miller pointed to a large star map showing hunter activity over the past year. As you can see, Emma said, hunter attacks have increased in these sectors, but they've completely stopped here. She circled a large area of space. This is the zone protected by our new defense network. A tall green alien with 4 eyes stood up. The Moran people thank humanity for including our colonies in your protection. For the first time in generations, our outer worlds sleep without fear. Jack nodded to the alien. The Alliance protects all its members equally, Ambassador Zinn. The word Alliance hung in the air. It was new, different from the Council. This was not a group based on blind peace, but on mutual defense. President Maria addressed the group. 1 year ago, humanity stood alone. Today, 6 other species stand with us. Together, we have driven the hunters back from 23 worlds and freed over 4,000 prisoners from their ships. The room filled with applause and various alien sounds of approval. But our work is not done, Maria continued. The hunters still control large regions of space, and the Council still refuses to acknowledge the threat. They are afraid, said a small bird-like alien named Trell. My people, the Vox, tried for centuries to make the Council fight back. They always refused. Fear is no excuse for allowing others to suffer, Jack said firmly. The Alliance has proven that the hunters can be defeated. They are not invincible. Emma stepped forward again. We've learned much from the hunters we've captured. They're a parasitic species that takes other intelligent beings as food for their young. They've been doing this for thousands of years, ever since the Council's peace made it easy for them. A disgusted murmur ran through the crowd. Our scientists have developed new weapons specifically designed to fight their phase-shifting abilities, Emma continued. And we've located what we believe is their home system. The meeting was interrupted when an aide rushed in and whispered to Jack. His face grew serious. We've just received word, he announced. A massive hunter fleet has been detected heading toward Council space, larger than anything we've seen before. The room fell silent. They're not heading for Alliance territory, Jack clarified. They're targeting the Council homeworld itself. Ambassador Zinn's 4 eyes blinked rapidly. Why would they attack their golden goose? The Council has never threatened them. Our intelligence suggests the hunters see us as a growing threat, Emma explained. They want to force the Council to act against us before we become too strong. President Maria stood. We must make a decision. Do we let the Council face this alone? Or do we help those who refuse to help us? The debate was short but intense. In the end, they voted unanimously. The Alliance would defend the Council homeworld. 3 days later, the largest fleet ever assembled by the Alliance jumped into space near the Council planet. 50 ships, led by Admiral Wilson on the Defender II, formed a defensive line between the approaching Hunter Armada and the Council world. On the planet below, Elder Krell and the Council watched in shock. Why are they here? Asked one elder. We denied their request for aid. We threatened to cut all trade with their alliance. They are here, Elder Krell said slowly, because they are human. And the others with them have learned from humanity. The Hunter fleet emerged from deep space, 100 black, spiked ships moving in perfect formation. They paused when they detected the Alliance fleet. Admiral Wilson opened a communication channel to all ships, Hunter, Alliance, and the few Council vessels in orbit. This is Admiral Wilson of the Earth Alliance. Hunter Command, your advance stops here. This system is under our protection. Withdraw, or we will open fire. The Hunter ships began to spread out, preparing for battle. All ships, Wilson ordered, execute Battle Plan Theta. The Alliance fleet moved with practiced precision. Unlike the Hunter's previous victims, these ships were ready to fight. On the Council planet, Jack Adams met with Elder Krell one last time. You can still join us, Jack said. Fight with us. The Council has hidden for too long. Elder Krell watched the battle beginning in orbit above. Our way kept peace for 5,000 years. At what cost? Jack asked. How many species sacrificed? How many people lost? Above them, the first shots were fired. The battle had begun. Elder Krell's 4 arms moved in a pattern Jack had never seen before. Perhaps there is another way. Not the Council's complete pacifism. Not your constant readiness for war. Something in between. Jack looked up as Alliance ships engaged the hunters. First, we survive this day. Then we can talk about tomorrow. As Jack hurried back to his ship, Elder Krell called after him. Adams. Peace ended the second humans walked away. Jack paused and looked back. And real security began. Elder Krell finished quietly. Above them, humanity's greatest battle was just beginning. And with it, perhaps, a new and better peace for the galaxy.